All right, welcome back. The stock market making a pretty big rebound this week in reaction to the potential of a trade truce between the United States and China.
Yeah, that's right. The Dow closing up almost 300 points and giving the S&P 500 its best start to December since 2010. Our next guest says that this is the best possible outcome for a deal with Xi Jinping, but it won't come without its challenges.
Mattie Duppler, a senior fellow at the National Taxpayers Union, joins us now with more. The potential of this thing, it could be very big. Everybody's nervous about this trade war we have here pending. What do you think?
Well, I think expectations going into this weekend were very high, set by the president himself. Last week, the president said it's really unlikely we're going to have a pause on these tariffs that are supposed to rise on January 1. And not only that, we've got $250 billion worth of goods that don't have any tariffs on them at all. I think I might extend tariffs onto those if this weekend doesn't go well. So frankly, I thought the president was giving himself a little space. And what we saw then, that's why I think it's the best possible outcome of this weekend's negotiations, is this pause in tariffs. Because of course, tariffs create increased pressure here for consumers, especially moving into the holiday season. It's really important to have this kind of breathing space on the trade negotiations with China. Now, the question, of course, is whether or not those tariffs and these next 90 days yield different results. So far, we've seen tariffs maybe create a little bit of domestic pressure for China. They've got some growth issues over there that we're starting to keep an eye on. But does that force China to ultimately make concessions on the most important components of increasing their ability to trade with us? I'm not quite sure that that's the case. We only have 90 days, not a very long time.
Yeah, but what this does prove is that, of course, both countries realize that a trade war is not a good idea. But my big question is, I mean, the Chinese president has come out and publicly said they want to replace the United States as the global leader of the world. So can we trust them with any deal?
Well, I think that China's vision of the future is ultimately completely at odds with the United States' vision of the future, with us as the leading world superpower. The United States and Donald Trump has been very clear. We need China to stop changing some of their behavior, but that goes beyond just decreasing tariffs on some components. And it seems that this weekend, President Xi made some of those concessions. He said that he'll open up some of his markets to American ag and energy products, which is extremely important. But we don't know how much, and we don't know what that looks like. And of course, 90 days is a really short time to start righting some of those wrongs. So the administration, both here and in China, are off to the races, right? This clock has started. 90 days already started on Saturday. So we need to start negotiating quickly.
And we've been teased before on this, of course. Let's talk about NAFTA here for a second. The president wants to completely pull out. He's got this new deal, the USMCA. The critics say it didn't change much from NAFTA. The president says we did a lot to help the American.
Well, remember, NAFTA is almost a quarter century old, right? So this was before the internet was as pervasive as it is now. It needed to be updated. So in some sense, it's okay that NAFTA, USMCA, looks similar to NAFTA because the free trade that it opened with Canada and Mexico was crucial to the growth and the innovation we've seen over the last 2 decades.
But there are protections. There's better protections, right?
There's an expansion of protections. Now digital goods, which really wasn't a commodity we were concerned about in the 90s, is something that is referenced in the USMCA,
which for blue-collar workers,
which was certainly an update that we needed. Well, now there are a lot of other protections in there, though. And the question, this was signed on the sidelines of Buenos Aires this weekend, which means now Congress starts the negotiation, and that's where this gets really interesting.
And not only that, it has to pass the legislatures of all 3 countries. So
exactly right. Exactly right.
Mattie, thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The time now is 44 minutes after the hour. The Supreme Court will soon hear a double jeopardy case on charging people with both federal and state crimes.